The title says it all. Ant King Meruem goes against the Cockroach god himself in order to prove who is the best villain. As you may have noticed, Meruem has references to Dragon Ball characters. Meruem's appearance is similar to that of Freeza. The two have a similar physical structure, and their deadly aura is also similar. But if we were to give Meruem a dark twin, it would be Perfect Cell. This is because of their similarities in terms of powers and personality, because he views himself to be the perfect entity and the pinnacle of evolution. Meruem, like Cell, wanted to see how much potential he had, which he discovered in his combat against Netero. Furthermore, Meruem's link with Komugi is akin to Majin Buu's friendship with Mr. Satan in Dragon Ball Z. That's why in today's video, we are checking a battle between two major villains, Meruem and Cell. Who will win this? Stay tuned till the end to find out. We start off by checking out their abilities, and on the right corner, we have Meruem, the king of the Chimera Ants. He was one of the most influential characters to appear in Hunter x Hunter. He was the strongest of them all since he was the king, and he was referred to as the peak of evolution. He was arguably one of the most difficult opponents to face in the series, as he and his Chimera Ant armies destroyed multiple hunters, including Chairman Netero, in close battles. In terms of abilities and powers, Meruem, despite being a newborn, is the most powerful character revealed so far in the series, as well as the one with the most learning potential. Born as the ultimate biological weapon, his incredible physical prowess is only matched by an unrivaled mind, both of which appear to position him far beyond the scope of human possibility. His power as king of the Chimera Ants exceeds that of the royal guards, and he can boost it even more by consuming Nenusers. He confronted Isaac Netero, formerly considered the world's strongest Nenuser, who had a terrifying degree of strength even in his old age, while attempting not to kill him, a situation Meruem compared to playing chess without a rook and bishop, and won their physical confrontation. In terms of strength, Meruem was born with enough power to blow off the heads of multiple squadron leaders with a single tail stroke for each, as well as punch a hole in the nest with such force that the entire structure shook. He was able to launch himself high into the air by stabbing his tail into the exterior wall of the nest. His tail is so powerful that he was able to lightly hurt all three royal guards, despite failing to kill Neferpito and holding back on at least one prior occasion. Despite his body's exceptional endurance, he was able to effortlessly sever Netero's left arm and right leg, as well as, more impressively, his own left arm. He was able to push back two of Netero's 100-type Guanin Bodhisattva's hands with the help of Ren. Meruem's durability is beyond comprehension. Netero's very powerful supersonic attacks only caused minor injuries, and none at all after he activated Ren for the first time. He was able to withstand thousands of such hits without even a scratch. Yet, it was reported that he ultimately began to feel a dull internal pain, implying that he may have suffered some small internal damage prior to even using Zero Hand. He was also able to withstand Netero's most powerful technique, Zero Hand, which unleashes Netero's entire aura on his opponent with merely scrapes and bruises. He was able to survive the ultra-powerful explosion unleashed by the poor man's rose following Netero's death, and despite his body being practically destroyed in the process, he was still alive after the fatal strike. Meruem also has a high pain tolerance and ripped off his own arm without hesitation, barely flinching afterward. In the end, Meruem was the last Chimera Ant to succumb to the poison of the poor man's rose, despite being at the epicenter of the explosion. However, it should be noted that Shiapoof and Montatu UP had given the king a significant amount of their power in order to save his life. And on the left corner, we have Perfect Cell. The engaging characters, exhilarating action sequences, and incredible transformations are some of Dragon Ball Z's most famous qualities. Still, it's an excellent villain who helps tie everything together, and in this case, we have the one and only Perfect Cell. He was Dr. Giro's finest creation. Cell stands out as a superior threat among these terrible forces. Cell is responsible for crushing debts and driving Gohan to Super Saiyan 2 strength, but his unique anatomy and talents make him a more nuanced villain. Regarding his abilities and powers, Cell is made of the DNA of the Earth's most powerful fighters. There are numerous things that contribute to a deadly villain, but Dragon Ball Z elevates Cell into a unique threat when the heroes discover that he can employ all of their characteristic skills against them. As stated earlier, Dr. Gero created Cell by gathering genetic material from Earth's most powerful combatants, including Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Krillin, Freeza, and King Cold. It's terrifying when a villain has thoroughly researched the heroes and understands how they work, but Cell is literally made up of their best qualities. Also, Cell can regenerate and reappear stronger than before. Cell is made of diverse and resilient genetic material, but his constitution becomes even more astounding when Piccolo's Namekian DNA is added. Piccolo's genetic donation to Cell enables him to regenerate any severed limbs, making him an almost unstoppable danger. Cell has comprehensive procedures, including his self-destruct technique, that he can activate when all hope is lost, but his regeneration abilities imply that an explosion isn't lethal. Not only can Cell regenerate from nothing, but he also returns smarter and more skilled. And to blow your mind, Cell can go beyond his intended perfection. Dr. Gero's ambitions for Cell culminate in the perfect state. Although this isn't the pinnacle of his abilities, semi-perfect and perfect Cell are significant improvements over imperfect Cell. Cell, on the other hand, demonstrates that he may transcend his original restrictions and acquire even greater levels of perfection. Cell's self-destruction is followed by his reappearance as Super Perfect Cell, which seems similar but is far stronger and incorporates Goku's enhanced DNA. It's horrifying to think that Cell's strength has no limit and that his Super Perfect form may not even be his peak. Cell also has his versatile tail in his arsenal. Dragon Ball has a wide variety of species, and there are a surprising number of characters who not only have tails, but can use them as a hazardous appendage. Cell's tail is an essential aspect of his anatomy, but it changes dramatically across his forms. Imperfect Cell's tail is his primary instrument for draining people's life energy, and its quick reflexes make it an agile weapon. Cell's tail is also flexible enough to eat an android's body. Perfect Cell, whose tail shrinks and fades into insignificance, also serves as the container for Cell Juniors. Now that we are all caught up with their abilities, let's see who would win in a fight. Meruem and Cell's furious battle unfolds with fast speed and remarkable intensity. Meruem took the initial move, charging at Cell with incredible speed, but Cell easily outmaneuvered him by teleporting behind him. Meruem's teleportation ability, on the other hand, allowed him to rapidly reclaim the lead, surprising Cell by reappearing behind him and throwing a tremendous kick that threw Cell into a nearby mountain. The hit caused an immense cloud of dust, temporarily concealing their background. Cell quickly recovered, using his tremendous speed to return to the fray and initiate an offensive assault. Meruem's unrivaled combat prowess allowed him to escape Cell's strikes and land many hits on his opponent. Meruem continued to dominate their encounter despite Cell's efforts to change the tide. Cell managed to land a blow on Meruem and attempted to unleash his powerful Kamehameha attack squarely at Meruem's chest during a brief pause. Fortunately for Meruem, the tremendous energy beam missed its target. Meruem took advantage of the situation by catching Cell with his tail and tossing him against a rocky outcrop. Meruem thought the battle had ended, but Cell's tenacity astonished everyone. Cell refused to give up and unleashed a hail of ki blasts at Meruem. Meruem skillfully evaded each approaching energy pulse with incredible agility and precision. Meruem even managed to deflect one of the blasts back at Cell, temporarily blinding him. Cell, overconfident in his talents, overlooked Meruem's strategy until it was too late. Cell fired up an even more powerful energy blast in a desperate attempt to achieve victory. Meruem, on the other hand, stayed calm and merely kicked the charged blast back at Cell, who had been preoccupied. This diversion, unbeknownst to Cell, was all part of Meruem's plan. Cell fired his signature move, the Kamehameha, with a joyful declaration. Meruem, however, managed to escape the lethal blow once again, leaving Cell befuddled and vulnerable. Meruem pounced on the opportunity, severing what was left of Cell's arm and leg with his tail. he executed the final, fatal punch with a strong uppercut, rendering Cell defenseless. As Cell lay defeated and helpless, he heard a chillingly familiar sound fill the air. A Kamehameha charging. Meruem, now in command of the conflict, launched the powerful energy wave, accomplishing what the other Z fighters had failed to do: defeat Cell in a massive explosion of smoke and energy. The struggle had come to a dramatic and conclusive finish, with Meruem emerging as the ultimate victor in this epic combat of titans, with Cell vanquished and knocked unconscious. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate your support.